Hi you guys, it's Lulu and thank you for joining me on my channel today. I want to talk to you guys about the differences between henna and Chebe powder for growing, strengthening, softening, and making your natural hair feel just lovely, okay? So I tried both henna and Chebe. I have used henna several times. Earlier on in my natural hair journey, I was always using henna and it really did wonders on my hair. It made my hair so easy to comb through and detangle. So I decided that I was going to go ahead and do a compare and contrast between henna and Chebe powder because Chebe is like new and is hot, and also because I'm African. So you know, I know for Chebe powder is a bit more northern than my country, so they use Chebe powder over there in Chad. I think it was a lot of African cultures actually do use some sort of clay or mask with natural hair for hair growth, protection from the sun, and just general styling. My tribe, we use musila, and it's a red clay, and we use it with oil. So it's very normal for traditional Africans to use some sort of clay with oil for styling. One of the more popular Southern African tribes that uses a similar clay, probably the same clay that we use, is the Himba tribe. So for me, I was kind of excited to try out Chebe powder and see what it was all about, see if it was like, you know, something that I could work with. So basically today's video is Africa versus Asia, which one has the better treatment powder. So I will go ahead and get started. So the first thing I'm starting with is the Chebe powder treatment, and I don't have a list of ingredients in my mind right now, but I will have one in the description box as well as my blog pureestrogen.com, so I'll have that all down in the description. And I'm using my favorite treatment oil, which is Vatica coconut hair oil. I only use it for hair treatments, pre-poos, and stuff like that, and I'm mixing it up with the Chebe powder. So the first thing I'm doing is just warming my hair up with some water. You always have to use water when doing a Chebe treatment, and I'm separating my hair so that way it'll be easier for me to work in sections and just working the water through to make sure it's distributed nicely. So this is what the Chebe looks like. It looks like poop. Most herbal treatments look like poop, but it does smell really herbal. It actually smells a lot like henna, but there's a very faint difference. And I am just making sure I go in sections, and I'm trying to put a little bit because the women who I have seen use Chebe use very little, so much less than what you can actually see on my hair, because you can barely see it when they do the treatments. So that's what I was trying to do. And after applying the Chebe to my natural hair, I went ahead and flat twisted my hair in a circle so that way I could wear some wigs and protective style for like 2 or 3 days. I can't remember how many days it was, but it wasn't that long. And this is after protective styling. I am taking out my flat twists, and I'm going to show you guys something really cool once I'm done showing you all of this goodness. All the Chebe products that you've seen on my channels, even the ostrich oil that I've been showing you in previous videos, they're all from ChebeUSA, and I'll have the details down below. But this is the hair paste that's already mixed for you, so you don't have to worry about mixing your own. You can just grab this and put it in your hair and go. So I just wanted to demonstrate to you guys how I would use it. Just put it in my hair and bantu knot, and all you need are 4 hours. You don't have to wear this for days on end, even though you can wear it for days on end. So what I did next was I just covered my hair with a plastic bag. 4 hours later, I hopped in the shower to wash everything out. So I'm removing my bantu knots and just going ahead and rinsing my hair out. The Chebe treatment, because of the oil, is going to be a little bit more challenging to rinse everything out, but just take your time, do it in sections, make sure you're separating and making sure that your hair is actually clean. This will take a lot longer than your normal rinsing. And what I did next was I grabbed my deep conditioner slash hair mask from LuxeOrganix, and it's really great for softening hair. And I also used it just to kind of play the role of a co-wash a little bit to just help loosen any additional dirt. and that is all that I did, and then I rinsed my hair out right after that. A month before my Chebe treatment, I actually did a henna treatment, and I'm used to henna treatments. I try to do them every once in a while because they're really good for your hair. And I also added some charcoal because I was trying to get rid of it, and some bentonite clay to my henna treatment because henna by itself really dries me out, so I try to add other stuff to make it more moisturizing. So I added some warm water, which is for the dye release, and I mixed it up really well. Then I followed up with my Vatica coconut hair oil, again my hair treatment oil, so that way it would really make the henna more moisturizing on my natural hair. I really mixed it up well, and you can see the dye starting to show on my gloves. So that's the henna treatment, and I went ahead and just let it sit for 3 hours. Now I am washing my hair, and I started off by rinsing my hair out to make it easy for me to apply the henna, but also I had to co-wash my hair because my hair was really greasy. It was extremely greasy. I just felt like the henna was not going to work without at least a co-wash. So I co-washed my hair using my LuxeOrganix co-wash. It's minty and it's very hydrating, and I love that it's in a really big jar. So I just made sure I rinsed everything out perfectly because I didn't want any co-wash to interact with the henna. So here's my henna treatment, and I went in sections again, just sectioned everything off and applied the henna to my hair starting at the back. And all I did was just add some henna to my hair and then just kind of finger detangle as I went, so that way my hair would be free of knots. And I went ahead and bantu knotted my hair in large sections all the way up to the top. I made sure my hair was saturated, my scalp was covered, everything from root to tip, and it really stretches out your hair as you go. I like that about henna. So I covered my hair with 2 plastic bags because none of this was coming through, because I was actually going to sleep like this, and this was actually done in the morning, and I spent the entire day in my henna treatment. So the next day I'm using my deep conditioning mask again to rinse out my henna, and this is what my hair is looking like. It's flat. I'm doing a facial. Looks like mushrooms going on in my head, but I took down my bantu knots so I could go ahead and rinse out my hair, and this is what my hair was looking like the next day, about 24 hours later. And I went ahead and rinsed my hair first, so that way I could have clean water flowing, and then I went in with my deep conditioning hair mask again to loosen any additional dirt and flakes, because both henna and Chebe do flake up. So, you know, just to loosen all of that extra, I would recommend a co-wash or a conditioner to just loosen it up and also put some moisture back in your hair. First things first, let's talk about similarities between henna and Chebe powder. With both of them, they kind of smell alike. There is a very distinct difference. I cannot put my finger on it. Also, doing both treatments made my hair easy to detangle. I did not anticipate that the Chebe would make it so easy for my hair to detangle after doing the treatment, but with both of the treatments, my hair was a lot easier to maintain and manage. Also, another similarity I noticed with both of them is the texture. They have finer powders and then thicker, more flakier pieces. I looked at the largest of either one, and the henna definitely has one that's a lot larger and kind of flakier, and that's something you have to be wary of, especially if you use a lot. Like I showed you guys for the video, for demonstrative purposes only, I used a lot of henna and Chebe. You don't have to use a lot. A little bit goes a long way, and when you do use a lot, you're gonna have a lot of washing and rinsing to do. So bear that in mind, that flakiness. Of course, after your hair dries, those flakes will come out easily, the big ones, but the little ones, you know, those are the ones I think that really work the magic. So if you do happen to put as much as I put in my hair, use a co-wash to wash your hair, not just the deep conditioner like I did. Those are some similarities I noticed. I'm gonna go ahead and talk to you guys about the differences. The first thing that would probably irritate somebody is the fact that you have to wait for henna dye to release before you use henna, whereas Chebe, once you mix it up, it is ready to go, okay? So that prep time, that extra 2 hours in between, you're losing 2 hours with henna, and you can go immediately from mixing to applying with Chebe. Also, henna is a lot messier. I mean, with the Chebe powder, don't get me wrong, with the Chebe powder, because it's mixing in oil, it doesn't have any stickiness to it. I would probably, if I were you, this is just me speculating, the same way I put the bentonite clay in my henna, I would put that in my Chebe mixture. The reason why I would do that is because bentonite clay does a good job of making stuff kind of stick together. So just like a teaspoon or a tablespoon of bentonite clay in your Chebe powder mixture would do a lot of good, because then it would kind of just like make everything come together like cement, you know? So that's what I would personally recommend, because Chebe does flake off a bit as you are applying it. With henna, if you accidentally put some henna somewhere and it flies across the room, yeah, you better wipe that off immediately, because the dye is going to stain everything, okay? This is why I was in the shower. So with Chebe treatments, yeah, you might have like a little bit, very little flaking off here and there, just little pieces, because like tiny little pieces. With henna, you're getting like a whole quarter-sized amount of product flinging across. Like before you even know it, it's gone, and then something is stained. So definitely, if you're gonna do a henna treatment, you want to do this on a tile floor or a very heavily protected floor. I mean, protected around you, because with Chebe, it can go anywhere, it's not gonna stain. You go with henna, you're getting stains because it is a dye. There is dye in henna, so that's something you should bear in mind. And because there is dye in henna, if you're like me and you're on your natural hair journey and you're probably considering coloring your hair, you probably want to stay away from henna, because again, that dye can impact how your future hair colors will turn out. It is a reddish dye. It's going to be hard to get, like, say, pastel pink in your hair or blue if you are dealing with henna. That's something you definitely have to consider. The dye issue is a non-issue with Chebe powder. Also, henna is gonna loosen your curl pattern. Again, like, you know, the dye impregnated into your hair, it's gonna go in there. It's gonna loosen your curl pattern over time if you do a lot of treatments back to back. I think if you do monthly treatments, it shouldn't be so bad. I don't know, but I've never done monthly treatments with henna. I never had that curl loosening issue, but if you do use henna regularly, it will loosen your curls. Chebe won't. Some people want to loosen their curls, so, you know, you have to bear in mind that your hair is gonna loosen, and it's not gonna loosen at the same rate. So if you have like 2 or 3 hair textures, the loosest texture is probably going to loosen faster than the other 2, and then you're going to have a greater difference between the textures. So that's something you definitely don't want to have to deal with. Even with oil, henna is drying, which is why I make sure I use a deep conditioner, hair mask, something like that. Follow up with a conditioner if I feel like it, so that way it's not so dry. I didn't have a dryness issue with Chebe powder at all. I really make sure I use a deep conditioner after henna. This LuxeOrganix deep conditioner hair mask is golden. It's like my favorite that I've ever used on my natural hair. I think I only have like 3 that I've ever liked. So yeah, basically Chebe powder wins for me. Mainly the dye, that's the biggest deal breaker. If you do use henna, don't stress yourself out. The dye can fade over time. If you use it like maybe once a year, it's not a big deal. But if you want to use it regularly, like once every 3 weeks, once a month, that's when you have the dye and the curl loosening issue. Whereas with Chebe, you're not going to have that problem at all. So that's definitely a winner for me. I will have all details about everything that I did and everything that I used down below, and I will also have a blog post on my blog about my thoughts about henna versus Chebe in a clear and concise manner. I'm just gonna get straight to the point on my blog, okay? So definitely check out my blog on pureestrogen.com. I'm gonna have everything down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you have any questions about anything related to natural hair, definitely use the comment section. Let me know what you think. Have you tried henna? Have you tried Chebe? What do you love about either or? What do you hate? Tell me, I would like to know. Also, please do not forget to give me a big thumbs up, subscribe, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye!